Well, I did it. Started a podcast, and I'm sorry about it. Hello, my name is Freya. I am an independent musician, and I literally just released my EP like 2 weeks ago. It's called Learning How to Live, so go listen to that if you want. I thought the best way to process all of my thoughts and feelings would be to start a podcast and just talk about it. So that's what I'm doing. Welcome. I'm going to start off with a little life update. So I released an EP. And as an independent musician, it's like quite a lot. You have to do so much. I don't think people realise how much you actually have to do. But you're putting on so many different hats. Like, I write the songs, record the songs, organise all the mixing and the mastering, rehearsals with band, gig with band, social media manager, coming up with a marketing plan, Spotify pitches, like, and I do all my design myself, like everything. It's a lot. Merch, CDs. So it's taken me 2 years to get to this point, to be able to release this EP. But it sounds so good. It sounds so good, guys. You actually need to listen to it. Release week. Let's talk about release week. Release week was so nerve-wracking. I think because you spend so long coming up with your plan, your content. I think it was 2 months planning out music videos and content because I hate myself and decided to do a music video for every song. So when release week comes up, it is a lot. You have the feeling of being nervous. Are people going to like it? Is it going to translate what you want people to get from the songs? Is that going to translate? Is the world that you've built going to work? Is anyone going to listen to it? This is the first thing I've released in a while. I released a single in 2023, and then before that was my debut album, which was 2021, 2? No, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe 2023 was, I don't know. I'm bad with dates. Anyway, it was a while. I hadn't released any music for a while. So, yeah, I always worry that people are going to forget who I am. But thankfully, the response has been so incredible. And everyone's been so nice. And I've actually got the most streams that I've ever gotten on anything ever, which is actually crazy. And I don't really know how to process it. I am struggling to process it. Hence this podcast. This is the sign of a mental breakdown. This is the sign of someone that is not coping. Okay, that's a lie. I'm actually doing really well. I get really bad seasonal depression, which definitely can't tell from my songs. I seem extremely mentally healthy. But I'm out of it now, so we're thriving. I'm in a great place. Who would have thought? Maybe I'll write a happy song. Probably not. It is a weird feeling though when it's finally out there in the world, because for 2 years I've been the only one listening to this, apart from like when I secretly show it to my friends. So it is weird, and seeing like the reactions. People think that like being an independent musician is, I don't know, really like I'm writing deep songs at like 2 a.m, which yes I am, but I'm also like having arguments with Apple Music, you know? Because on Apple Music all of my songs they have a live bracket at the end, and they refuse to change it because I'm not Sabrina Carpenter, so I don't have the reach. Imagine being taken seriously. Who would have thought? So, speaking of my EP, let's talk about it. I thought I'd talk about the journey, how it started, some specific things behind the songs, just being an independent artist in general, because it's a ride, as I've already said. you interested in that? Well, you're here. So the EP, it's called Learning How to Live, and I didn't have that name for a really long time. It was nameless for probably a year and a half. It started with I got this rubber bridge guitar. You can't, oh no, you can see it, that one there for the viewers. My guitarist slash husband made me a rubber bridge guitar. He bought this Texan cheap weird guitar and put a bit of foam in the bridge for me, and that was a present. And that really inspired so much songwriting. It just sort of lit something up in my brain. And if you're a musician, you'll know like that feeling of sudden inspiration when you get like a new instrument or something that inspires you. And that guitar truly inspired this entire EP. Every single song on the EP is with that guitar. So the first song that I wrote was It's Not a Race to the End, which is also the lead single. So I just sit and I write with my little rubber bridge guitar, and then all of these songs just fell out of me in like quick succession. It's Not a Race was written in like July 2023, and then Oversaturation came, I think, like same month, and then All Roads was like a month later, and then Hopeless Gracious Week took a while. But yeah, Not a Race was the first one, and I feel like that's a nice little moment because it was currently my most streamed song. Well, nearly my most streamed song. Definitely the most streamed on the EP. The original idea for this EP was inspired by Fizz. Fizz's new album came out, and if you have not listened, it's a banger. Fizz is a supergroup of Dodie, Orla Gartland, Martin, Greta. They're all solo artists, and they're just like besties, and they made a little supergroup and released this album that's very Beatles in terms of like the harmonies and the structure. It just sounds so cool. It's all done live in the studio, and you can hear them all bouncing off of each other, and like the production's so sick, and I was so inspired by that. So this EP has always had like a darker, more mature vibe from the very start, and it just sort of evolved to become its own thing. And I wouldn't say that it changed much from its original idea. I would say that it's quite similar, which is nice, because Girlhood was the complete opposite. Girlhood started as just like acoustic and then became this like pop girly nonsense. Hardest song to write on the EP, I would say, was Hopeless Gracious Week. I wrote that with my guitarist because I'd written a little piece, like a little demo of the first verse, but I couldn't figure out the chords. I couldn't figure out how I wanted the chords to go, where I wanted it to go to in the chorus. So I sat with him and we worked that out, and the mix actually took the longest on Hopeless Gracious Week as well. It just didn't sound right. There were so many layers, but it needed to sound simple and also epic at the same time. So yeah, that took a long time. And then Rebirth was actually my friend Ben's idea. You might know him as Verda. He's an artist. He was in the studio where my music was being mixed, and heard All Roads Lead to Dead Ends being mixed, and heard the chorus of my vocals in the background, and he was like, that's so cool, that should be the outro of the EP. And I stole that. Well, I guess you can't really steal it if it's offered to you as an idea, but yeah, I did that. Thank you, Ben, because it is so sick. I think it just rounds it off perfectly. It is the same as the first song, but it shows more of that like acceptance and evolution, which this whole EP is about. And I do like that little track. It's fun. It's actually my friend's favourite song on the EP, which kind of makes me feel a little bit insulted because it's not really a song. So, you know, you can just tell me if you hate my music, Taylor. That's fine. But yeah, I was talking earlier about the Apple Music support debacle. Oh, they're so annoying. Like, if I was Chappell Roan, you would have solved this in 2 seconds. So now my EP is just out there as every song is live, as if I performed it live, and it's not true. And I can't change it until I get really famous. So being an independent artist is like actually quite hard. I think more people need to realize that or appreciate that. Thanks. It's just so much time. I cannot stress to you how much time and money and stress is put into making a project, especially like as an independent solo artist that has a band. It is so much. You have to wear so many hats. You have to do so much to get a project off the ground, especially if you want it to get what you want out of it. But it's also very rewarding. I will say that. You get to experience the highs better, I would say, because you know, you're actually interacting with the fans and people and hearing what they have to say, and you get all of the rewards, which is lovely. So I wanted to have a little section about pop culture because I am unfortunately chronically online. Okay? So I've got some things that we need to talk about that have happened recently. Number 1, Harry Styles' album. Guys, Harry Styles' album. I have so many thoughts and feelings and opinions, and if you don't care, I'm so sorry, but you have to now listen to me. Harry Styles' album is good. I actually liked it. I was really expecting to hate it, especially with Aperture, because it was so different to what I was expecting. And I also wasn't a massive fan of Harry Styles' last album. I just thought it was a bit of a miss. I mean, there's some absolute bangers on there, don't get me wrong, but also there's just some misses. It's not a very consistent album. So I wasn't expecting big things with this. Turns out I like it. I've probably listened to it about 3 or 4 times now. And my opinions are... Oh, hold on. I did a review. Let me access my review that I did, because that's going to be even better. I know that I ranked it... How many albums does he have? 5? I ranked it 4th out of 5 albums, if there is 5. Basically, Harry's House is last. And Harry's House is last, and then it goes Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. I'm sorry, I just didn't fuck with Harry's House. Oh no, should I not swear on this? I don't know. So my favourite song is Ready Steady Go, for sure. I really like the production on that. It's so sick. That's one thing about this album. It feels like he actually is having fun with the production again, which I love. Like his first album, he says he felt a bit trapped with the first album and doing what he was meant to do, but for me it sounds like on the first album he was having fun experimenting with sounds and production, and it feels like he's back at that again. Yeah, my favourite song is Ready Steady Go. Then Coming Up Roses, so beautiful. Paint by Numbers, Pop, Dance No More. That's my top 5. In terms of Harry Styles album rankings, it goes Self-Titled, Fine Line, Kiss All the Time, Harry's House. And I'm sorry if that's controversial. I'm sorry about it, okay? I think it's a good album. I think the production is sick. Lyrically, you know, people have said it's not fantastic. But, you know, music doesn't always have to be epic and emotional. It can actually just be fun. Like Chappell Roan, one of the best albums of all time, actually, and is just like singing about lesbianism. Diva. Okay, and we love Chappell Roan here. So yeah, overall I think it's a good album. Unfortunately, I do have the ick. I never thought that I would say this, but I don't fancy Harry Styles anymore. I know, and like, I hate to admit it, it feels like breaking up with a partner, because he's been in my life for so long as my number one crush, but I just don't fancy him anymore, guys. So I'm going to need 3 to 5 business days to deal with that. But album, good. Ticket prices, girl, sort your shit out. That is not fun. Okay, moving on. Another piece of pop culture moment that happened recently that we need to talk about is Chappell Roan, as I just mentioned. She recently kicked off with the Papparazzi in Paris for Paris Fashion Week, and I love her for that. And yes, please do it more. She gets so much hate online for like sticking up for her privacy and like calling people out for being freaks, but hello, you are being freaks, and there's a time where we need to realize that being famous, and people are like, oh, she asked for this, she just wants to be a musician. If I ever accidentally get famous from being a musician, it's not my choice to be famous. That's something you can't really control. It's sort of a byproduct of being a successful musician, unfortunately, and doing this as a career. It's not her fault that she's sick. Do you know what I mean? And people are like, oh, she could just choose to not be as in the spotlight. She does. She's actively refusing to release music until it's ready. If she wanted to be famous, she would be like consistently releasing music. So yeah, Chappell Roan, thank you for kicking off, and thank you for doing it in the most Karen way of filming them. I just thought that was so good. I actually love her. I really love her. Okay, moving on to Bridgerton. Bridgerton needs to be spoken about, and I know that I'm a million years late to this, but it's important to me. Season 4 of Bridgerton is the best season of Bridgerton. Fight me, okay? Fight me on it, because how are you going to sit there and tell me that it's not? And yes, season 2 is fantastic. The yearning, the tension, Anthony Bridgerton, Mr. Bailey, sexiest man alive, sexiest woman on the planet, actually, as well. Season 2 is fantastic, but season 4, I'm sorry, it just takes the cake. There's so much humor and love. I loved the love. Violet Bridgerton, invite me round for tea. I will come round for tea anytime. Okay. Season 4 is fantastic, and dare I say, the best season. Very excited. I assume Eloise's season is next, and I'm very excited about that. Although I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with seeing her be in love with a man. That doesn't sit right with me. But sure. Okay, Resident Evil. Resident Evil needs to be discussed. Resident Evil Requiem just came out. I have not played it, but I have watched an entire playthrough of it, and I love it. It's great. Resident Evil's so back, guys. One thing you don't know about me, I love games. I'm a bit of a gamer. I'm a bit of a gamer, and I do very much like Resident Evil, and I think the new game is bloody great. It's so back in a big way. Come on, Leon, slay diva, baby girl. Thank you so much for your service. So if you want to play that, I suggest you play it. What is this? Like, why am I giving you recommendations on games to play? This is why I shouldn't have a podcast, because I just ramble about crap. Okay, I thought I'd finish off the Chronically Online section to talk about my current hyperfixation. Because every month I get a new hyperfixation, because I have ADHD. Yeah, I do. I've got ADHD, and I get really bad hyperfixations. My current hyperfixation of the month is reading. It's been a bit of a consistent one, actually, but I banned myself from reading when I was making the EP. I wasn't allowed to read because I needed to focus on getting all these goddamn music videos together. Holy shit, so many music videos. 5 music videos. Do you know how much planning that took? All by myself. 0 budget. It took so much planning. But yeah, my current hyperfixation is reading. I'm back on the reading train, baby. Back on it. And I just finished my 4th reread of my favourite book ever, which is First Time Caller. I suggest you read it. So that's the current hyperfixation of the month. I'll let you know what it is next month. If you are interested. So I thought if anyone actually does watch this or listen to this, we'd do a little section here where you guys can comment things, ask me questions. You can ask me questions about being an independent musician, about songwriting, the industry, just like life advice from someone who absolutely should not be giving you life advice. I don't know, hot takes. Just leave them in the comments and I'll answer them here. I'll pick a few to answer and discuss. And please absolutely do not follow any life advice that I give you. But because it's the first episode, we don't have any. So I'm just going to tell you that my new EP is out right now. It's called Learning How to Live. It's so good and you need to listen to it. You also need to go onto my YouTube page and watch all the music videos that I have created for this EP because they're sick. They're all camcorder. They're all like edgy and lo-fi, which fits the vibe perfectly. So go watch those, go listen to me, follow me on social media. I just need to promote myself because that's pretty much all I ever do in my life. But yeah, that's the first episode of whatever this podcast is. I don't know. Next month, I don't know, maybe I'll talk about songwriting or the music industry or just spiral about pop culture for half an hour. Just thought I'd keep you updated on my life every month, and sort of be like a diary of an independent musician trying to make it in this industry, this dog shit industry. I've committed to swearing now. It has to happen. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will see you next month and stay fresh. That cannot be a sign off. I don't have a sign off for this. Keep spiraling. Keep on spiraling, guys. Bye.